Hello and welcome to this Mag Healy training. This is about the big Mag, as I like to call him or her, the other Healy. So I'm so in love with this device, and I've had so many questions from people about what does it do, and everyone's looking for a good video on what can it do and what's it all about. So I just decided to make one because I've played around with it so much with our own family and with others, with athletes, with old people, and everyone in between. And it's just been so much fun. So I want to share with you what I know about it, which isn't everything. So there will be some gaps, of course, that you can then fill with your own knowledge. But I've made a presentation for you so you can follow along easier. So if you have one, or if you think about getting one, or if you're just curious about what can this device actually do for me, physically, spiritually, mentally, like all the things, even prosperity-wise, then this training is for you. So let me share my screen with you so that you can see what I'm talking about when it comes to the interface. So this is just me in love with my Mag Healy. I use it really every day, and I'm glad that I have a few now because people in my family really love it too. So I want to show you mostly the interface and then go through some of my favorite programs for you so that you can decide if it might be helpful for you, or if you have one, how you can use it better. So the nice thing about the Mag is that it's so gosh darn simple and easy, and there isn't as much choice as in the little Healy, but it's just so powerful for certain things. So we have 4 program groups: the classic programs, the atmosphere programs, the water activations, and the MeMakin programs. So I'm going to say a little bit about each one of them as we go through them. It's important to note that when you purchase one, there are 2 options. You can either purchase the full set. I think it's called the Professional Mag, which comes with all these program groups on it. And you can also purchase the basic, which comes with the classic programs. And then you can purchase other program groups as a subscription on top. So if you're deciding, oh, I like the classic programs and I really also like the MeMakin, then you might not want to get the Pro and just get the basic version and get the MeMakin on subscription. So that's how this works. And if you have any more questions about this now or going forward, you can always reach out to me or to the person who sent you here, and we're happy to explain more. So as we're going into the first group, the classic programs, there are 7 here. I haven't tried them all, but I want to touch on the ones that I have tried or that I have experience with, and there will be a lot for you today. So any holes that you have, there'll be so much more. So cell harmony and regeneration. I use these sometimes when I'm feeling like depleted, but depleted on a level where I don't want to put on more energy, right? When I put on vitality, for example, that is kind of like a strong cup of coffee. You want to be very gentle with the percentages on that. It can keep you going a long time, all day long. Cell harmony and regeneration, they're more like when you're feeling depleted and you're drinking like electrolytes or eating a big salad or drinking a big green juice, right? And like after a while you have a nap, then you're like, oh, I feel like everything's going green again on the inside and working again. Head harmony is amazing for headaches. My daughter had a fever the other day and her head was hurting. This helped big time. But also anything like when my partner had a tooth infection and the whole head was hurting, that thing works like magic. Joints, there's other joint programs on the Mag. But this joint program is amazing because you can use it non-locally. I've had, since the birth of my baby, I've always gotten that with all my children. My hips get kind of crooked and then my left knee goes out. It goes wonky and painful for a while. So this is a joint program that you can just put on your abdomen, and it just travels the frequencies to any joints in your body that need help. So that's really amazing if you don't want to run around, if you like want to like not sit down for so long and have it like locally on a really awkward area. And also if it's a more chronic thing that needs a little help over time. The nice thing about the classic programs is that in the MAG, there are 2 Healys. So one in the classic programs, one of the Healys is used as a scanner. So it will detect what, in this case, your joints need in order to repair and recalibrate. So my left knee is totally fine again. I ran this a few days in a row, and also in combination with, obviously, with like gentle movement and stuff like that. Tiredness, I haven't used personally. I haven't felt the draw to, but sleep, I use that almost every day now because I love this program so much. Also because this has the scanner, and it kind of knows what I need in order to go to sleep, because sometimes your mind is more active, sometimes your body is more in unrest. And this sleep program has gotten me into deep sleep so many times, and it's just so amazing. I love it so much. Just putting it on my belly. A lot of these you just put on your belly because then with being well hydrated, it just travels the frequency through your body to where it needs to be. So that's classic programs set number 1. Then classic program set number 2, balanced body. I've used a couple times. I can't really tell what it does. Energy circulation is nice when you just want to like feel that things are actually moving inside. Vitality is more like the coffee cup, and energy circulation is more like you want to have the blood flow going. Positive mood, I haven't felt like I needed it because I'm feeling pretty good most of the time nowadays, thankfully. But I think it's pretty self-descriptive. Earth is really nice because that has the Schumann resonance, the frequency of the earth. So it's a very grounding program. If you feel like I should go into the outside and put my feet in the grass and get the frequency from the earth, that's what this program is about. Spherics, on the other hand, is really, really helpful. Like recently, we've had a lot of solar storms, which are when parts of the sun jump off, for lack of a better term, and there's more radiation, and people have gotten really, really exhausted. So spherics is really regenerative in that regard too. Just putting it on, and like an hour later, I feel like new. Pressure, I've tried before when I felt like a lot of pressure, like either time pressure or pressure to do things, or like just like feeling under pressure, like that Queen song, or is it David Bowie and Queen? Anyway, that was really relieving as well. And then sound of silence, I think originally, or is also made for relieving ear ringing, but I don't really have ear ringing. So I have tried it for going to sleep at night. I put it behind my neck. And when my mind is kind of loud, I put it, and it just gets me into this beautiful, quiet space, almost meditationally. You can probably also use it really well for meditation, except then, you need a holder to keep it at the back of your neck. But that's somebody else's job to make some devices that keep the Mag Healy in place where it needs to be. But anyways, it's also gotten me a few nights of really beautiful and quiet sleep. So these are the classic programs. Then the next set of programs on the MAG is the atmosphere programs, which is basically you put this device either on the charger or without the charger. When it's charged, as long as it's blinking, you can put that somewhere on your desk or on the table or in the room, and it reaches out to, I think it has a diameter of 3 meters. I don't exactly know. That's probably around 12 feet. So, but also it doesn't stop there. It's just like, you know, the whole room kind of does feel different. So you can use it in the home or in the car or wherever you go. And I'll show you a little bit more about those programs. So the first one is pretty self-explanatory as well. It's about when you want to get in a focused space of studying. It really helps you focus on what you're doing and taking in what you're studying. Creativity, self-explanatory again. It just helps you if you're in that creative space to be more dropped in, to be more inspirationally receiving. Office, I haven't tried. Maybe that's with coworkers. Prosperity, I run a lot. And I have to say, it was interesting when I first started running it at a higher percentage. At the default, they always start at a lower percentage. And I was like, oh, let's dial this up. I want more prosperity. And I went a little higher to like 55%. And immediately my solar plexus chakra felt like it wanted to throw up. So I was like, interesting, because that's my power center, right? Self-power, self-empowered, or power chakra. So there was obviously something there. So I dialed it down again because, you know, the more we are in our personal power, the more prosperity we invite in. So I've been running that a lot. Can't complain at all about my financial months. So that's great. Car, I assume it's for, you know, driving in the car and being focused on the street. Working out, self-explanatory. I haven't used it. I have used from the little Healy, I've used the programs for working out, but I'm sure it'll work great. Family harmony I've used when either my partner and I were in a quarrel or the kids were pretty like grumpy with each other. And it's ridiculous how fast it works. It's like, oh my God, now we're all kinder to each other. Children playing, I haven't used yet, but I can imagine it working just in the same way. Eating, I've used a couple times just out of curiosity. It's my 3-line in human design. I have to try out everything. I can't tell if it did a difference, but I'm open to hearing if you try it, what happens. Food cleansing, I've also tried one, couldn't tell that I found a big difference. Kitchen, I haven't tried, or pantry, I haven't tried. So there are some holes there, as I told you, but for me, there are priorities, and I can only run so many programs a day, right? Then the second set of atmosphere programs, stress, pretty self-explanatory too. If there's a stressful environment, just put it there. Coherence, I run a lot. I'm also running coherence on here right now as I'm recording this. I run coherence a lot when I'm on client calls, on group teachings. It just really drops me into that zone of focus and knowing what to say, right? It's so clear. It's really coherence is, and there'll be a water program for that too. Coherence is all about bringing your body, your mind, your emotions, and your soul. So really dropping you into that space of unity with yourself so that you can receive, right? I love this. Also on the little Healy, there is a coherence, which I run all the time. It's just when you are in that state, you're already automatically feeling abundant and you make a lot different decisions from that place. Energy, also kind of like a cup of coffee, so careful with that. Especially careful when you have children around you, if you don't want them bouncing off the walls. Then relaxation, we've put on for family movies too, and that was nice. And the kids then went like, oh, I'm so tired, I need to go to bed. I'm like, I've never heard you say this, so great. Holistic health, I put on the other day, also when my daughter was sick. But I ran a lot of other programs on her, so I can't really tell if that did a lot of difference or what it exactly did. I'm sure it helped. The atmosphere sleep program is one of most people who have a MAG their favorite. For me, it works on a small percentage. I'm very sensitive to energy. So when I put the percentage higher, it kind of like, it's too noticeable for me, and I can't then focus on falling asleep. But it's really helpful, especially when you have a room of teenagers who want to like party for a sleepover and you want to calm them down, and they'll go like, oh. So it's really beautiful. Electrosensitivity for anything EMF. So you can put that on if you have a lot of Wi-Fi, if you live in an apartment building, or if you want to just protect yourself from that kind of radiation. Is that radiation? But you know what I mean, right? Like Wi-Fi's, Bluetooth, cellular stuff. You can put that on to put you kind of in a bubble, which is nice. Energy clearing is also one of my favorites on there. You know how sometimes when somebody, like there's a lot of activity in your home, or there was a big fight, or someone was just there and everything like was really, that person was really stressed and saying a lot of things. And even if you were like keeping your calm, like that's still in the air kind of, you put on energy clearing and it's like the cool, fresh, calming breeze comes through the room and like everything's gone, right? Everything's back to neutral and fresh and blank canvas. And it can also be really relaxing, because oftentimes when we feel tired or exhausted, it's actually not because we have no energy, but because we have so much external energy in us that isn't ours. So energy clearing can help really well for that as well. So chakra balancing, yet another favorite of mine. When I was with my mom helping her pass, I played that one a lot. I was going to say I put that on a lot, and we both went a lot into meditative states as we were sitting together over that week, because she was also resting a lot. And when I was meditating with that one on and had my eyes closed, I kind of felt like the whole room was filled with colors and flowers, and it was just, and it put me into that state of complete being in the moment, which was so beautiful and so needed for what I needed to do with my mom and how I needed to hold her and all that. So it also is really nice when you're kind of feeling just a little off, you don't know what's going on, and just putting that on kind of makes you just feel right again. I love that one. Relationship, I have not run. Animal harmony, I have run once, and my kitty laid straight down next to the mag when I ran it. Plants, I've ran a few times, and I've put one on for a longer period of time next to a plant that had some frostbite after our move and wasn't doing very well, and it recovered and got like a whole set of new leaves, like a week or two after. So it was really, really fun to see. All my other flowers are doing really well too. I mean, plants. I don't have flowers, all green leaves. So those are fun. And then the water activation, I know a lot of people are into this. I haven't played with this as much. I have played a little bit with the cell harmony, which I really liked. I do notice though, when I use the water activation, that the water tastes differently. So it tastes more like it's actually palatable. You know how sometimes when you go to a restaurant and they give you like a chlorine iced water and you drink it, and it's kind of like your mouth kind of shuts the energy down. It's like, don't let this in. But so with these kind of waters, when they are programmed in this way, which one you use, I've used cell harmony and bioenergetic regeneration before. I've also used vagus harmony. I haven't played at all with the fasting one, so don't ask me. But they taste more palatable, and they taste like harmonious, somehow even a little bit sweet, if that makes sense. So there's 2 sets of these. I've also played with the heart opening, which was pretty beautiful. My sponsor uses that one a lot and loves it. There's also a coherence program here where you can, what I explained about coherence, that you can support with activating your water with that frequency as well. Then you have bioenergetic defense, which would be curious to try because there's a program on the Little Healy, or a program section with all the defense programs, which I love. I never knew how much I needed them until I tried. And then I have also watered my plants with plant water. The others I have not tried, but they're pretty self-explanatory. And if you see anything there that sounds exciting, then go ahead, try it out, let me know. And then last but not least, we have the MeMakin programs. That's the fourth set of programs, which is my favorite set of programs. Caroline MeMakin has been doing this for about 30 years with the frequencies, and she has pioneered how to use two frequencies at once. So the short of this is one frequency goes to the issue, one frequency goes to the tissue. So the tissue frequency is kind of like an address. I don't know the numbers, but I have some of them on a sheet somewhere. But for example, let's say your vagus nerve is 200 hertz, right? So one Healy will resonate at, or will vibrate at that hertz frequency, so it knows that it should go to the vagus nerve. And then the other frequency is for the issue. So for example, inflammation might have a hertz frequency of 92. So 92 and 200 together, and this is made up, these are not the real numbers, but just to give you an example, will then mean that inflammation in the vagus nerve is addressed, and then you can go straight there, straight into Rome, fix it, boom. So that's why these programs are so powerful for anything physical. And Caroline MeMakin was also, she was contracted or asked by the NFL to create some help and programs for the players to get onto the field again, into the game again faster after an injury. So these programs are truly exciting. And what she has also worked with over her 30 years, it must be around 30 years now, is a lot of chronic things like fibromyalgia. And she has studied so much the causes, because fibro is mostly, as I understand it, a symptom. It's not the cause. So it can have many different root causes, but she has dialed it down to most, or a large percentage of fibro has this cause, and then we can address this that way, right? And some of it has another cause, and then we can address it that way. So with all the experience that she has and that she has put into these programs in the Mag, there is so much that you can do for chronic things, which is amazing. The other thing I wanted to say is, if you're interested in studying this deeper, if you have a one line in human design like me, her book is called The Resonance Effect, and it's so interesting and so powerful and also really easy to read. So the first one in here, body comfort, it doesn't sound like much, but that's actually going to address, as far as I understand, scarring in the spinal cord. So when people have had like a big impact accident or anything where the spinal cord got stretched and then contracted again, and then there's scarring. This can, in many cases, according to her book, be the cause for fibro scarring in the spinal cord. So this is a very popular program that can help with that. Try it out, let me know. Skin harmony speaks for itself. Anything skin, like wound healing, but also like if you have eczema, it helps. My son oftentimes, if he has very itchy skin from food-related sensitivities that we're working on with a custom program on the smaller Healy now with gut health in the background. But if you need like fast relief for like anything itchy or painful, that's super good. Prostate, I haven't tried because I don't have one. Soft tissue and soft tissue week 1 to 4, I've both tried. Soft tissue is anything like muscles, tendons, like all these things in the joints that are soft, right? So if you have anything that's older, a chronic thing that's older than 4 weeks, you want to try the soft tissue, and it's also really relaxing. So if you put this on it in the evening on the couch on your belly, that's another one you can also put on your belly, or you can put it straight onto the thing, but then it just relaxes all the soft tissues. You know how a lot of people, they get really tense, and then the fascia is really tight, and you like feel like you're just tight all day long. You can put these soft tissues, and it depends, like, is it a thing that happened 1 or 4 weeks ago, then you want to use this one, and otherwise use this one. But they're both so relaxing, and it's just like the warmest, coziest blanket. And it also, of course, like resolves them on a frequency level. After exercise, I haven't tried, but I assume it's just to help with recovery faster. Neck harmony has been a lifesaver for me when I've had a kinked neck. And those of you who have had a kinked neck, you know that it's a freaking pain in the butt, and it hurts so much. And you just put it back on there. It has like a lot of different frequencies for all the things like in there, that like the muscles or the tendons or the nerves, what could get like what could get hurt with the neck harmony. It's a wonderful thing. Joint and joint balance, they're kind of similar, except the joint is more, you put that on the joint that needs help directly. Joint balance I've used for my messed up hip, because in there it's not just the hip capsule or the joint itself, it's also how like the tendons and the soft tissues are around it. Like there was like a kind of like a cramping or a tightness going on that I couldn't resolve with stretching, and that was causing, in my right hip, that was causing my left knee problem. So I addressed that in just a few sessions, and my hip is fine again now. So that's always amazing. Tendon harmony is also great for example, for tendon injuries. Lower back harmony explains itself, but that might be one of the most amazing programs in there. We use that on my partner's, for my partner's grandmother when she had bulging discs, and she was in so much pain and had to wait for was waiting for surgery, and was given very strong painkillers that weren't doing much. And we put this on within half an hour. She was like, oh my God, what happened? And she was standing up straight again. So we ran that program a lot for the few days that we were there with her. Of course, if you want to have longer term change, you want to, you know, apply this longer or before any discs bulge or anything. But it was just so lovely to be able to help her in this way while we were there. Foot harmony, another really amazing program. So anything from like when we moved into this house and my partner did like a few 12-hour moving days, a lot of stuff by himself, and his feet were so in pain. We put this on and it was just like a vacation. And I used to be a waitress long time ago in a past life, long days waitressing weddings and stuff. And when I was driving home, my feet hurt so badly, like all of our waiters' feet hurt so badly. So I could have really used it then. And then just a few days ago, I used it on a lady who boxes. And whenever she had an injury in her ankle, but also then probably related to it, her foot started aching like under there. So when she was boxing and like using her foot, also just walking, it was really, really hurting, and she couldn't really do the movements with confidence that she needed to do. And we just did one treatment on the foot and that thing was gone immediately. Like these things are amazing. And then last but not least, the second page of MeMakin Programs. Here's another one for sleep that you also put on your abdomen, so that you can that it can go systemically or systematically into your whole system. It's good. I like personally the classic one better. For me personally, it works better, but they're both great. Brain harmony, another banger of a program in the MeMakins. In her book, she talks about a concussion protocol. So the concussion protocol is not exactly brain harmony, but as far as I've heard from a training from her, this is the closest it gets. So anyone who's had like a bang or a fall, our babysitter fell off a scooter the other day and had like a terrible headache and also body ache. Also, an athlete with CRPS, with complex regional pain syndrome, who came the other day. We did a scan on her, and this one was recommended, brain harmony, because in CRPS, the thalamus, I believe, the pain center in the brain, keeps creating pain responses to something that isn't there anymore. So what this program does is it sets everything back to neutral. It resets everything, like the brain and the body, into like a optimal functional state together. So even when you haven't had a concussion or anything, this is just such a wonderful program to run, to just recalibrate your brain and your physical functions. And I had some tingles in like some areas of my body, is like they were coming back online. That's so amazing. Nerves harmony, another amazing one. Obviously addresses all the nerves in the body with all kinds of issues. There's only one tissue address in this, and it's nerve tissue. So anything from inflammation, broken, torn, stuff like that. So ran that in Germany on my aunt as well, who has like some dead nerves in her, or some like things she doesn't feel in her foot. And it didn't resolve. I think we didn't have enough time, so I couldn't only run this on her a few times. But what did happen was that she could like have control over her toes again. So they were still kind of numb, but she had gained some access back to movement that she hasn't had in a long time. So that was amazing. And oftentimes it's also the combination of the programs that you use in here. It's not just one, but then you use a few, and the scanner in the small Healy can really help with that as well. But otherwise, this is why I'm doing this training, so you get to know a little bit more like how you could use them together for what you have, for example. Emotions kind of explains itself. I'm sure I have I used this before? I think I've used this actually once before. I haven't used it to avoid emotions, but after I had a big emotional storm, I put that on to kind of like settle and calm down. That was great. Thalamus harmony, another super important program for chronic pain stuff. Like I just said, that's the pain center in the brain. Can also probably be really beneficial for fibro. It really reset things the other day for this lady with CRPS, and also used that on a lady who had a big car accident in her face, and she has a lot of nerve tissue damage here. We ran the nerve harmony, brain harmony, thalamus harmony, and I think also vagus harmony. And it was a very different sensation for her after. So the thalamus oftentimes needs a little more adjustment when it was used to creating pain responses for a long period of time, than to just reset itself to normal, like kind of relax thalamus, right? You don't need to create so much pain response anymore. There's nothing actually there to react to anymore right now. So it's an amazing one too for that. Vagus harmony, the vagus nerve, as you can tell, right, is the brain, and here all the tentacles. It's that nerve between the gut and the brain. It's that axis runs the vagus nerve. Also, so much emotional healing happens through the vagus nerve. It governs so many functions in the body. It's literally essential to have that be in a good shape. So I run that in the evenings sometime too, when I'm reading in my bed. I put that one on my belly as well. And it's just also this really beautiful calming energy. Not necessarily a put to sleep energy, but more like a, whew, everything is good, right? So it's beautiful. Detox I haven't used, but I kind of think it speaks for itself, supporting detox, helping detox. Kidney harmony I have used. I put it locally, but then you want to put it on each kidney. So you want to make sure that you treat them both. It felt really good. Digestion harmony is also a favorite for when we've had The other day, my daughter woke me up in the morning and said, oh my God, I just threw up 4 times, right? So, and then she ran a fever. So we ran digestion harmony a lot, and she had a tummy ache. So within like 1 or 2 program cycles, and a lot of rest, her tummy felt so much better. And with all the things that we ran on her, by the end of the day, she was no more fever and felt good again and was eating some fruit. So it was just a 1-day thing, thankfully. And then we have women care, another favorite of mine and many people that I know who are women. This is for your monthly time of the month when you have a cramp. So you just put it on you, on your belly, for like 1 program cycle. For me is usually enough. And then for the rest of the day, it's good. Also, after I had my baby and I got my period again, the first couple were really strong. Then I used this program, and then the next periods were much more gentle. And I've also helped my daughter with this because I don't want her having to go on pain medicine already. Like, she shouldn't have painful periods, right? So nobody should. There's something there. Gut health is also related to that, of course, but this is just so beautiful when you have that strong sensation in your uterus area. It's also really helpful for the what's it called? The endometrial tissue. So you can use it for that as well. Ovary harmony, I've used once out of curiosity, but I don't think I have anything going on with my ovaries, so I couldn't feel anything. And then last but not least, another favorite, sinuses harmony. This one doesn't just affect the sinuses, it's just called sinuses, but this is really when you feel something coming on, you put that on your belly, and it's got something, of course, for the sinuses, but also the immune system, and it detoxes from viral toxins. You know, when your body kills viruses, there's a lot of toxic buildup, which can also oftentimes be a big reason why things feel bad in your body, right? So it helps with that. So I haven't had a cold or a flu or anything in a while, because every time I feel something here, I put that on right away. Even though, you know, some people in my family have had a cold. My ex-husband had a COVID the other day, and yeah, it's just really, really beautiful. You catch this early, you put that right away. But also if your sinuses are hurting from like allergies, for example, or even just from a cold, this is such a beautiful program to relieve. Or if they're blocked, my son sometimes has blocked allergies from, blocked sinuses from allergies. So that can be a really fast relief as well. But like I said, with him, we're working on all of that allergy stuff now with the gut healing, again, with a custom program on the small Healy. So that's been going really well. So another thing to note is when you've got the right frequency, the right program on the Mag, it gets warm, and you'll start feeling it somewhere in your body, like probably feel really, maybe even not tangible. You might just, oh, it feels really good. And that's pretty much all you can say for now. But that's when you know you've got the right program. Sometimes I pick a program out of curiosity and it doesn't get warm, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just pick another one. So that's as much as I know about the Mag right now. I'm curious to hear which one sounds like it would be your next favorite. And also, if you are interested in getting yourself one, go back to the person who sent you to this video or reach out to me for details, and we'll get you set up, because this is a game changer. This will change your life. It's like amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you soon.